Hi everyone, it's Ellie and this is my final video with Children with Cancer UK, and in today's video we're going to be talking all about remission. So I've been in remission for 2 years and 7 months, I think. And it's definitely not been easy. I don't think normal people, let's say, really appreciate how difficult remission can be, because I remember my friends at school just thought that I was back to normal, I was healthy again, but they didn't realise that I still had lots of the long-term side effects such as fatigue, nausea, all those kind of things. So it is hard. I think the first year of remission is quite difficult because it's that transition from being an ill kid to a healthy / normal kid. So it can be a difficult adjustment, but I shall be talking to you all about my experience in remission and also be giving you some advice and tips for how to cope in remission. I think the initial thing that I found hard about remission is that I wasn't seeing my doctors and nurses as much, whereas before I would see them maybe a couple times a week. Now I was only seeing them every 3 months, and that was hard at first to get used to because obviously going to the hospital a couple times a week was a big part of my life. So I did miss the nurses a lot, and I felt that I'd lost that support system, that that was gone, and I really valued that support system. But what I would really recommend you do is find a new hobby. So a hobby that will replace hospital appointments. So for example, I went to the hospital every Wednesday for my chemo during my maintenance chemo section. So instead I replaced that with a new hobby. I went and joined St. John Ambulance Cadets, which was really fun because I got to meet new people, I got to do first aid and everything. So it can be scary just going from treatment and cancer and then going and finding a new hobby, or perhaps returning to an old hobby, but I would definitely recommend it because I think the thing that I was so excited about remission is being able to do new things and being able to do things that involve other people, because there's no infection risk anymore, and being able to do more active things, and because I had more energy. So it's really exciting when you're in remission that you're able to just plunge right in and just do some really fun things and get involved in different clubs and sports, but just take it slowly, because I definitely did not. When I went into remission, I did all these different things. I went back to school full time. I just wanted to make the most of it because I had 18 months when my life was on hold. I just wanted to do everything that I possibly could in remission, but then I ended up getting more tired and fatigued and losing weight because I was too busy to take care of myself. So it's really important that you do have the time to relax. Don't just focus on, oh gosh, I've missed out on, let's say, a year of my life, I need to do everything again. Just take it easy, maybe try one new hobby and then you can build it up when you want to. Another thing that's quite cool is I created a remission goals list. I don't actually know where I put it, so I can't show you it, but there was a set of goals that I wanted to complete within the first year of remission, and that was quite cool because I was really excited for remission so that I could try new things and that I could accomplish new goals. So I wrote out some goals, and I think it's nice that at the end of that year you can tick off the goals that you've achieved, and you can reflect on how far you've come from finishing treatment to where you are now, a year in remission and still doing well. Let's hope that all the scans have done well. Obviously I know that's not the case for everyone, but fortunately for me, I was still cancer free at the end of the year. So yeah, it was really exciting to see how far I'd come in that year. We all know that cancer doesn't end when treatment finishes. There's a lot of side effects that come with it. So I particularly experienced fatigue, and I still had neuropathy, aches, and just like chronic pain from all the treatment. So that was really hard to deal with because I just wanted to kind of bounce back to the old Ellie, the one who could just go out and go on a 5-mile run whenever I wanted. Obviously that was unrealistic, but I felt a bit burdened and felt a bit down. I was still feeling fatigued, and I was getting exhausted by school and feeling achy when I woke up in the morning. I felt more like an old woman than someone who had fought cancer and is now trying to live their best life. So in regards to that, just don't set yourself any unrealistic expectations, because loads of things crop up in remission. You may have different problems and long-term side effects, and of course your body needs time to recover. Even though maybe mentally you feel like, oh yeah, I want to just go and live and do whatever I can, your body is still trying to recover from the treatment. So make sure you give it that time to recover, look after your body, whatever, and yeah, you should be fine. Obviously, just remember as well that even though you will have doctor's appointments maybe every 3 months for a checkup, you can still ask the doctors for help. So you can call them up in between appointments, and if you have a problem that you want to talk to them about, they are still happy to help. Just because you're in remission doesn't mean that they don't want to help you. They are more than happy to help. They're more than happy to make an extra appointment for you or bring your appointment forward if that's what you need. So just remember that being in remission doesn't mean that you're alone. You still have that big support network around you. I think the scariest thing about remission is definitely all the scans, because of course, just coming from all that treatment, you don't even want to think about having to go back on that treatment. It's like the scariest thought ever. However, you shouldn't get yourself too worked up about the scans. I know it's scary and it's a very anxious time, especially for your parents, so they may feel anxious, which may rub off on you and make you feel anxious. But my biggest advice for scans is stay positive, have hope, and also just don't waste your time worrying when you don't know what the outcome of the scan is going to be. You could be worrying over nothing, so there's just no point. You may as well just try and stay relaxed, stay calm, and hope for the best. And if it's not the outcome that you wanted, then you can deal with it then. You don't stress yourself out too much, if that makes sense, because you say if you did relapse, say, I don't know, a year after treatment, you don't want to look back on that year of remission and see that you were just a worried, scared wreck that whole time. You want to look back and think, oh yeah, I was really positive, really hopeful, I did loads of different things, remission was great, I managed to achieve a lot. You want to look at it that way rather than look at yourself as a worrying wreck, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that's how I try and approach scans. I don't try and get anxious, I just stay positive, hope for the best, and then whatever the outcome is, you deal with it. Of course, you can't help worrying, you can't help feeling anxious. So a idea that I have, a piece of advice, is to get yourself a worry monster. So I know this seems like, especially if you're my age, when I was probably about 15 when I got this, it may seem a bit babyish, but I think it's really useful, because basically what you do, you write down your worries, so maybe scans or school or something. You put it on a piece of paper, then you put it in your worry monster, and theoretically your worry monster eats it up and takes the worry away. So things like that, just to cope with the stresses, because there are stresses and anxieties around remission, so something like this could really help you. The last thing I want to say is that it's okay to feel sad in remission. I kind of felt this pressure almost when in my first year of remission to just be super positive and happy all the time, because I've been given this second chance at life. I felt so lucky and victorious that I beat cancer and I was now cancer free, but it's just not realistic. You are going to at times feel emotional, you're going to feel sad, you're going to look back on what you've been through, and you are going to feel emotional. And of course the transition from being the ill cancer kid to going back to normality and being healthy again is quite difficult. Even though it's a transition for the better, it is hard because it is a huge change in your life. You've got used to being an ill cancer kid, but when you feel sad, it's really, really important that you do talk to people. So make sure you talk to your family, talk to your friends, And if you really need to, do talk to a counsellor or therapist. Just because you're in remission doesn't mean that all your mental health problems go away. They certainly don't, and sometimes in remission mental health problems get a bit worse because in treatment you're just so focused on getting the next chemo done and the next treatment done, and you're almost like in fight mode all the time. It's only when you're in remission that you don't have to fight cancer anymore, and you can reflect that sometimes these negative emotions come flooding back into your life. So, you know, make sure that you do see a counsellor or therapist if that's what you feel you need, because just because you're in remission doesn't mean that you can't have access to that support. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that my tips and advice was good. Yeah, but I'm 2 years and 6 months in remission, and it's only really now that I feel like I've got back to some sort of normality, and that, you know, it's going to take time. Don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself that you'll return back to normality in 6 months, because it probably won't happen, and it takes different amounts of time for everybody. So yeah, just, you know, it is hard, but you can do it. You beat cancer, you can do anything. So if you are in remission, then congratulations. I wish you all clear scans in the future. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is the final video, so I do wish you farewell. And hopefully I'll be back on this channel soon, but who knows. But yeah, in the meantime, if you want to watch any of my other videos, and make sure to watch the previous videos on this channel, and then you can also go to my channel called Team Ellie, where you can access more of my videos giving advice, my story, experiences, whatever, all cancer related stuff. So yeah, make sure you go check it out. And yeah, thank you for watching, and bye.